Why do you think founders only start thinking about exit when they're already burned out?
A lot of founders think about exit when they're burned out because they never take the time to sit down and realize what's actually needed to exit the business. So you just build your business, you run your daily activities all the time. And a lot of founders think, easy, when I want to sell, then I just sell it. But that's a very, very wrong mindset or very wrong understanding, because preparing a company for exit is a long-term exercise. And it's more, how I call it, it's more you need to build your company to be ready to exit from day one. And having an exit-ready company gives you all that optionality to sell or not to sell. But just trimming your company towards an exit doesn't give you the value. I've seen founders with great companies, and if you need to sell, so if you're in a rush because of burnout or something, you don't have time to trim the company and get actually the value that you should.
When did you realize exit isn't something you do once, it's something you build toward?
I realized myself that when I was selling my second company, I had to sell it in a rush. And I was realizing that's now the totally wrong moment to fix all these things that I know were not perfect, but they were actually decreasing the valuation tremendously. And then I realized it's not something you do at the last steps. It's something you do all the time.
What do you think are the 5 levers of exit readiness?
What I learned, I think that the 5 levers of exit readiness, the most important ones, first, you need to have a team that is ready. So you need to have a team that can work without you at the end. So you need to have the right people in place, and they need to know what to do, everything structured. You have a senior management level installed. That's, I think, lever number 1. Lever number 2 is succession of yourself, leadership. If you step out, who is taking on your position? A lot of companies have not thought about this, and so you can't step out if you have no one to follow. Level 3 is systems. You need to have systems in place so the company can operate in a very efficient, effective way, also without you being part of the processes. That makes it, for a buyer, really valuable because he sees the company is operating in a systemized way. And then I think very, very important, being clear on your moat, meaning you know the value, you know the specific, let's say, tool strategies or IP your company has, and you can articulate this to your clients, but also to the investor. Being very clear on your moat is an important value increaser when it comes to exit readiness. And then an obvious one is the 5th is financials. I've seen a lot of entrepreneurs not knowing their financials, not being super clear, not having a dashboard on revenue, on EBIT, on all the key aspects of your business. And if you don't have that, buyers don't trust your numbers, and you won't sell.
Can you share 2 founder stories, one where the exit went wrong and one where it went right?
I've seen a lot of examples where it went wrong. And starting with my own example, when I had to sell many years back in a rush, but also just recently a founder, her name was Sarah. She wanted to sell her company also in a rather fast way. And with the due diligence, the buyers realized that 60% of all the clients came through Sarah. And that was a no-go for the buyers because they knew if Sarah steps out without having all these client relationships documented, without the processes documented, everything in her brain, that's not working. So she could only sell if she was willing to decrease the valuation a lot and agree on an earn-out, meaning stay in the company for 2-3 years, making sure the whole transition is done correctly. So that's not really an exit. That's another 3 years in the company. And normally you're lucky if you even find a buyer if you have such a setup. But I've also seen great examples. One I know that was a software company. He was super documented on the processes, on the systems, really scalable. Buyers really like this because they saw everything that comes into the company on new clients can easily be absorbed, even with the founder not being there. And they also understood every euro they invested in the company, how it turned to more business. And that has clearly been a huge asset for him in the exit discussion. I think what most founders miss is that exit readiness is not something that you build overnight. It's something that you build a long time. So you start with your business model and have exit in your mind when you create it. And at the end, it's not to sell the business, but having an exit readiness or having an exit ready business means it's designed in a way that it is more valuable, it can scale. And the good thing is it gives you optionality as a founder. You have the possibility to work in that area of the business where you are the most valuable person. And without being exit readiness, you don't have that. You're in the business, you're too much involved. So I think that's the biggest misconception and also the biggest chance if you create it from day one.
What's the real value of exit readiness?
So I think the real value of having an exit readiness business, even if you don't sell, is it gives you freedom, it gives you a lot of options, it gives you a less stressful life, it improves the life of your employees because they know better what to do and can take responsibility. It actually changes a lot in your life and in your company. So I think the best thing you can do is create an exit-ready business.